All right, you are now tuned into the Rotated Views podcast. I am your host, Jimmylee Velez. I'm here with Gabe, Heck, Goose, Steve, and Nick, Servisevents. In this episode, we have special guests, Steve and Nick. We cover topics that range from food industry, major culinary influences, private dinners, menus, recipes, COVID-19, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes from Orson Welles and W.C. Fields. Guys, if you're new, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to download and subscribe. We drop a new episode every Tuesday morning for your listening pleasure. Kicking things off, Steve and Nick, thank you for joining us, gentlemen.
Thank you, brother. That was a great intro.
We have it down pat.
Oh, yeah, that was nice.
All right, so we're going to jump right into it.
Let's do it.
So for those of us who do not know who you are and what you do, let us know.
Sure. So we are Servisevents. Nicholas and myself, Steven, are identical twin brothers. We grew up in the Bucks County area our entire lives, and we've been chefs, I'd say professionally, at least for the last 7 years. We started really taking it seriously. We've been doing it for well over 10 years or so, but we've had a couple life-changing things that made us kind of dive in a little more seriously. And so with the recent kind of COVID shutdowns of restaurants, we found ourselves sitting at home, figuring out what to kind of do next and how to kind of keep ourselves moving, how to kind of keep the skills we've built up kind of honed in. And so what we decided to kind of do was start our own private dining service. I don't really like to call it catering because it's not necessarily catering. We bring to the guest's house, a 6 or 7 course menu. We bring all the food, all the plates, all the silverware, glasses, water, flowers, printed menus, music. And then we kind of, prepare and serve, educate, talk about techniques, talk about any health benefits that we're aware of, talk about how eating a seasonal kind of diet gives you that good connection to self, connection to land. It's better for the economy. It's better for the farmers. It's better for the local business community that we're all kind of find ourselves in. It's also really fun. And it's really fun. Yeah, exactly. It's really cool. So it's been awesome, kind of going to a new house every week, meeting somebody new every single week, being in a new kitchen every week. It's a total change from what, the 10-year, 18-hour-a-day restaurant life was like.
Yeah. For sure. So all right. So talk about a little bit about your history and what made you really. Were you guys thinking of this before, or really was it the pandemic that kind of did you always want to have your own gig?
Sure. I mean, we definitely always wanted to kind of have our own thing.
Yeah. Definitely not a restaurant though.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Also, being young, we're only 27. We always felt as though that we haven't paid enough dues. We don't know enough, we're not good enough, whatever. A lot of young people all think about themselves. But we have always had the thought of, hey, man, someday when time is right, we will absolutely do our own thing, whatever that may be. And right before COVID actually started, I was the executive chef of an opening restaurant in Warrington called Ardena Food and Drink. He was one of the chefs at Slate Blue, this French restaurant in Doylestown. We've been chefs all over the place. And we never really thought about doing this whole private dinner thing until some lady came into my restaurant and personally kind of asked me, hey, Nick, do you do private events? And I said, yeah, sure. Let me grab one of our managers. We'll fill out some paper. We'll figure out a menu. We'll go over prices. We can make something happen for you.
Yeah.
She's like, no, man. Do you specifically, would you come cook a private thing for me?
Wow.
And at the time, I was like, yeah, sure, that sounds great. But I was so busy. I was like, dude, yeah, right.
There's no time for that. I don't even know my name right now.
No way, So,
that's awesome.
So with all of that, I came home that night. I was like, yo, Steve, dude, I had this lady come up to me and say, hey, man, I would love for you personally to come cook for me.
She was also a big regular in the restaurant he worked at. So, they did kind of know each other personally.
Okay. And he was like, man, that's crazy. We could actually, where he was working was a lot of small bistro plates. So we're like, dude, we can maybe we could think of 5 menus right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And that was still pre-COVID, so
that was February. So it was literally a few weeks before COVID.
Probably. So then of course the next day it's right back to work. Yeah, right back to 12, 14-hour shifts every day. And then
and you kind of just forget about that. It just goes away.
And then COVID started, and we kind of just like most people were like, hey, this will be 2 weeks, maybe a month. You know, we'll take our much deserved break because we've been busting our ass for the last 10 years. Like, and dude, so for the time being, let's just enjoy what we have.
Yeah.
You know, and
it's not all the time the government says you can't work.
Right.
You know? Yeah. You know, like that really doesn't happen much. So we're like, all right, yeah, let's take advantage of it. So like most people, again, 4 months go by. We're not seeing any kind of let up in sight, and we kind of had this revelation, if you will, of like, hey, we hate relying on the government. We hate relying on people. We're kind of self-made people that we always have been. What are we going to do? Like, what is our next step? How do we keep moving forward? You know, we've always, since the day we started cooking, like, it's always been a constant, like, I want to be the best where I am. How do I
and
keep moving forward?
Once you get there, you move on to somewhere else.
Yeah.
And you start over, and you get the best there, and you move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we sat down one day and watched this crazy inspiring documentary called The Biggest Little Farm on Hulu, and it was about farming and agriculture and living in a perfect, sustainable kind of realm.
Yeah.
And it was so inspiring to us. We looked back into Wolf. He could tell you more about what Wolf really is.
So Wolf is worldwide opportunities on organic farms. And I first heard about this. I volunteered at a place called Quarry Hill Farm in Harleysville, Pennsylvania, to get a job at the Mainland Inn. This was the first farm-to-table restaurant I ever heard about. My parents' friend knew the owner of it, and he sent me the information to it. So I emailed the restaurant just saying, hey, my name's Steve. I go to college here, blah, blah, blah. I did the same thing to the volunteer page for the farm. Hey, my name's Steve. I work here, blah, blah, blah. I want to get a job in your restaurant. Of course, the volunteer page answered first. Yeah. Free labor, obviously.
Sure.
And so I was thinking, okay, if I work really hard for 6 months, maybe they'll let me go do work in the garden, and I can come back, once a week, something like that, and I can kind of get myself established here. So when I went there the first day, I think the girl's name maybe was Sam, who was running it. And she's like, hey, I'm Sam. This is so-and-so who works here, and these are some of the woofers. Yeah. Just like everybody else, I was like, the woofer. So, Wolf is like what I just told you, the worldwide opportunities on organic farms. So there's wolf hosts being Quarry Hill Farm, and woofers being the people who volunteer.
Gotcha.
And they told me back then that woofing is a way to travel for free, right? You offer your work, you get free housing, free food. Gotcha. I was 21 at the time, no money, no confidence to do anything like that. I also got a job in the restaurant that day. So, I'm where I wanted to be. Yeah. I stopped thinking about it. Yeah. So, 5 years later, we're sitting at home, collecting money, tons of money now, tons of time, tons of confidence. Saw this documentary and was like, dude, I'm looking back into this. Yeah. Found out that they do single memberships and they do dual memberships. A lot of husband and wives do it. Brothers, obviously, best friends and stuff. Yeah. And so, I think that was on a Tuesday. We had an interview for a farm the following Monday. Wow. And cause he was like, again, we kind of always tell everybody, I was doing nothing. Yeah. The restaurant I was working in was kind of really fancy, didn't even try and do takeout. We were shut down for 6 months, didn't even open again, you know what I mean? Nothing. He was still working a day or two a week doing takeout and stuff. Also, the executive chef. That's what you work for as a chef. You want to become to that high position. Yeah. Are you willing to walk away from that right now, dog? Yeah. And he was like, listen, dude, if you look into this and you do it, I'll go with you. Yeah. Yeah.
And, I knew it was one of those things that, would be absolutely life-changing. Yep. And given the circumstances we were in, how can you not take the chance?
Again, we had this big interest in organic farming and sustainable living. It's what we truly is our big passion. Yeah. Just from all the food, you got to know how to cook. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we talk a lot about, cooking is just what we get from all of that. Yeah.
So we went to Maine. We went up there for 2 months. Kind of had this idea to do this kind of business, but it still wasn't really anything serious. We still just figured, let's go to Maine. Let's go and learn how to really do farm work and how to live that way.
And we'll come back home to our jobs.
Yeah, we'll come back home and we'll go back to what we know how to do. Sure. And being up there, we started to tell this family that we were staying with, the Grahams, about this idea that we had, and they more or less really made the logistics of it possible, and they really made us really think that's a lot of work, but we're not strangers to that.
Straight away from hard work.
So we can actually probably make that happen. Yeah. So we were up there. We were supposed to be there for 4 months. We got 2 months in, and then we had this idea, and it was knocking at our door. So we were we got to get home and start doing this. Yeah.
Thank God we did. Honestly.
Yeah. So we came back at the end of August. Took a week or two just to kind of reassimilate back into life, because we were literally in the boondocks. There was no people, no shopping centers, no traffic, no Wi-Fi really. So we come back here and we're now dealing with cities and towns and all this kind of stuff. We're like, all right, this is kind of weird. And then we just decided one day let's
start putting it out.
Let's go.
Let's put our post out and see what people say about it. Let's make an Instagram page. Again, we were saying we were kind of weary about our jobs because we were both offered to come back to work. I didn't know if I didn't tell my chef, hey man, I'm back, but I'm not coming back, if that would reflect in a negative way. And again, like you just said, we got to the point where it's and we just started doing our own thing. And luckily, because we've been in the same area our whole lives, been working here for a long time, it was almost kind of it's about time you guys are doing something like this. And it has started, again, with tons of effort, but it has started to just kind of take off. A lot of people know us as either the twins or as the chefs. So when we made a service events page, everybody was like, oh, what's this about? You know what I mean? And it kind of did get a lot of attention, which really helped us kind of just starting off,
So, all right, so let's talk a little bit about how the name came about, and I guess the branding of it.
Yeah, sure. So as crazy as the whole branding thing that may sound, growing up, obviously we're twins, we're identical. For all of our listeners who can't really see, we are heavily tattooed. But growing up, our parents always wanted to market us as, we also growing up were skateboarders, played music, long hair, all that kind of. So our parents always tried to market us as the Service twins, these skateboarders, music player people, and
try to get on commercials and shit.
Since we were kids, we want to know part of it.
We were sounds stupid. I'm not into dressing up the same as him.
So anything kind of being pushed onto us at the time about us together, we're then we grew up and realized hey, we actually have something special.
Absolutely.
Let's actually now use it to our advantage.
For sure.
So the marketing is just look at us.
Right.
It does it itself.
For everyone else, Steve has really long dreadlocks, and I have face piercings and big gauges, and it's a whole thing. It's a whole vibe. So that was pretty easy.
And the name was even easier.
So service events for everyone else. Service is our last name.
SERVIS.
So it's not service is the service industry. It's what we've been in for our whole life. This service events, we named it Service Events because we didn't want to be locked into just dinners or
service dinners or service catering. Service events covers.
We can do a 2 people intimate Valentine's Day 12-course dinner, or we'll cater your 60-person micro wedding. We wanted to just make it be there for anybody, anything, anybody who was into local, sustainable, organic, good food.
I feel also as it might sound, it was something that was we just need something to start. And now something I think we're both really in love with. It was something let's put a name out there. Service events. And now we're just I'll live by that.
For sure. All right, so let's talk about, because you guys are obviously the food is something that's you guys took into another direction. So talk a little bit about the kinds of foods that are on your menu. Why? Obviously, you have experience with the farming.
So we're trying to do. We change our menu once a month. So we always try to tell people May 15th, the menu for June will come out.
Gotcha.
Again, you can book dates for June. You can get them confirmed. I can get your allergies and get all your information.
Gotcha.
But you're not going to know the menu until this day. I can give you an idea if you're very, very curious. But we're trying to go with whatever the farm's providing. You know what I mean? We're not trying to do anything that's coming across the country. And we think that's better. It's better for your health. It's better for the economy. It's better for the environment. There's no diesel truck hauling that across the country. The food is more nutritious because it's actually getting the chance to kind of ripe on the vine rather than being picked early to ripen in transport. So a lot of those nutrients, in a lot of just a tomato is a good example. A lot of those really good nutrients you want to get from a tomato, making it a superfood, don't happen until the last couple days of the tomato's life.
Wow.
So if you're picking that thing when it's green and putting it on a truck, it's not going to have anything that we really want from it.
Value,
Also, won't taste as good.
So
we just like to use anything local, seasonal, and we do, as you probably have seen, a little bit of more intricate cooking styles, a little bit of sous vide, some gels, and just fun things that we like to showcase these local ingredients in a very provocative way. It's going to make you think about it a little bit more. It's going to make you I can't tell you, we just had an event on Saturday where the guy sitting there was if I was in a restaurant and you put this menu down in front of me, I got up and leave.
Yeah.
I wouldn't eat a single thing on this.
Yeah.
But every single thing on this menu was stellar. You know, and he's like, yo, I cleared my plate. You know, like, we hear that all the time of like, oh, I never liked beets, but these beets were amazing. Like, well, you're probably eating the out-of-season beets that were in a can maybe that, you know, were cooked terribly. Yeah. So that's kind of the biggest thing.
Yeah. Also, you know, we our main focal point with our food is that it only comes from local Bucks County farms.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Some in Jersey, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
we go a little bit out of the realms if we have to, but we try to make it as close to home as we possibly can.
Everything that we get, we go and get it.
Yeah.
You know, there is no ordering. There is no trucks. There, like Steve and I personally.
I wasn't picking it, but like we're writing on a clipboard our shopping list for the day,
and we're going
to the farms that we know that have those things.
Yeah, we're hand selecting it.
Like we might be driving. You know, I don't know for listeners who know Bucks County, but we might be driving from Percy to get microgreens to New Hope to get like an artichoke. Yeah, like that's 45 minutes to get two different things.
Just
you know what I mean? Like
we refuse to not do what we believe in.
Exactly. And we also think that like, I don't know, there's passion behind that.
Yeah.
You know, there's realness behind that. People do appreciate that, and it does come through in the food. It does taste better that way. Like the care, I don't know. Again, I know I've listened to a couple podcasts that you've talked about of like the spiritual side of things. Like we do believe that like plants and things do have this energy. Yeah. And we do try to put that good energy into it. And we think that does come in with it being more nutritious, being more tasty, like just being all around more enjoyable. So that's kind of another huge part of just why we like to do it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so explain a little bit for anyone wants to reach out to you all for the experience. What is it that you bring? What do they need? Yeah. Again, how far in advance do they need to book an event? All the little details.
Sure.
Okay. So I would say for anybody looking to book one, we do ask maybe a week or two in advance.
Sure. But there can never be too early.
Yes. There can never be too early.
You can hit me up right now for a day in September.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
Oh, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? There's no such thing as too far in advance.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You know, we're all about that. But we only ask for a week or so in advance. Just so we can get all your allergies, all your aversions, all that kind of stuff. Just so we can get you to okay the menu. If you don't like it, okay, what do we have to change?
Okay.
You know, we're all about personalization.
And you're going out and getting all the stuff.
Exactly.
So
you gotta prep it.
So we also need at least like a day to do all the shopping, all the running around, all that kind of stuff. At least another day to prep all the food. Maybe 2 days, depending on how big your party is. We do 7 courses, so it is a lot of food. And then we spend the whole kind of day or the morning of preparing, polishing all the plates, getting them together,
printing the menus,
printing the menus, getting all of our napkins together. Steve cuts and garnishes all the flowers. So
the flower bouquets, we bring a flower bouquet, we leave it for you at every dinner.
That's awesome.
But we also handpick the flowers from our local produce marts and all that kind of stuff. And
sometimes before join with the seasons, right?
Yeah. So we do all that. So it takes at least 3 or 4 days to really get these things, honed in and going. But what the guest needs to bring is absolutely nothing.
That's awesome. Their company. That's
all you have to do is literally sit down at your table.
We tell everybody so what we do ask for when so you would hit me up on Instagram, say, hey Steve, I want some more information.
Yeah.
Until we get a website up, and the only reason we haven't is just because we really haven't needed to yet.
Social media works.
We are getting to the point now where this is a lot to unpack, as you kind of are hearing.
Sure.
I can't unpack all of it on Instagram.
Yeah.
There's no one Instagram post that explains all of this.
Correct.
So we are starting to kind of see with the importance of where a website would come into play.
Gotcha.
But so if you hit me up, Steve, I want more information, I say send me your email, and then we will email you a PDF file that literally unpacks all of this. The pricing, what we're bringing, a little bit about our story, what we're kind of really interested in. And then I ask you, the guest, for the following information, like the date of the event, the amount of people, your allergies and aversions. Aversions just meaning, do you really not like something?
Okay.
Yeah. Allergies and aversions. The protein choice. So we ask that because we do, your protein's going to dictate the price. And, we love to tell everybody. So we do a chicken and vegetarian menu for $150 a person. Steak, duck, lamb, pork, anything else you can think of is $200 a person. Seafood, fish, and then we do a steak and lobster family style for $250. And we tell you to pick one because we use all whole animals. So we're buying full chickens, we're buying full ducks, we're buying full sides of fish, whatever.
Full strip loins and filet loins.
It's not responsible financially or environmentally to buy a full duck for you to have the duck breast. a full side of salmon, so you can have one piece of salmon.
Yeah, for sure.
So we tell everybody, protein choice, whatever the whole party you think is going to enjoy.
Exactly.
We do have some this month coming up where it's like 4 pork, 1 vegetarian. That's fine. Yeah. That's fine. You know what I mean? Protein choice. Then we ask for the address. We ask for our start time. We come like an hour beforehand to set up. We don't ask for pictures of your kitchen. We don't ask for appliances that you have. Like, there's nothing like that. No. So when we come, it's kind of like, how are we going to set this up? Like, where do you want to play that kind of deal? Yeah. Then we just ask if it's for a special occasion. We'll put on the menus, happy birthday, Linda. We'll put on the menu, like, Rotated Views podcast. If we were to come cook for you, you know what I mean? Like, so we try to make it a little more special in that kind of way.
As personal as we kind of can.
Yeah,
of course.
And then, so the only thing you would have to bring is wine glasses or alcohol. We do tell everybody that we can get you cocktail and wine recommendations. We have tons of friends in the industry who do that. But I just can't buy it.
Correct.
I cannot provide it for you. I don't have a liquor license. I'm not willing to step that boundary. We talk about a lot of like going from a misdemeanor to a felony. Not really willing to do that.
Right, exactly.
But upon our arrival, usually Steve will set your whole table. Silverware, plates, share plates. We always bring pickles and something little.
We have some cool stuff after for you guys to eat before we get out of here. And then while he's doing that, I'll usually be in the kitchen, kind of getting all of our garnish set up, all of our water we need boiling, whatever it may be, sauce heated up, whatever. And then, we have it kind of just worked out at this point now that all you have to do is sit down. He's kind of your server. I'm more of your cook. We both run the food out. We both, we tell you what everything is, what we did to use it, what farms are involved, what health aspects are there, and all that kind of stuff. We always bring coffee service at the end with dessert, and everybody loves this. We bring it all home and we clean it at our house. Yeah, so there's no cleanup.
So there's no cleanup. There's
don't
no
clean in your kitchen. Like we always kind of say, like we don't know. Like there are times where like we'll be cooking. Like if we're right here. You're sitting right there. Yeah. I don't want to run your sink and clank silverware when you're trying to have a nice dinner. You know what I mean?
True.
So like, the most we do is like scrape some stuff into your trash can, and then we take it all home with us.
Yeah.
You know
so it all goes back into our bins dirty. We take it home.
Nice.
We wash it at our house and all that kind of stuff. So all literally you have to do is sit down, enjoy, and then go on with your night when we leave.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's it. No driving, no nothing like that.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah. Yep.
So what would you say that the span, so if someone were to plan or we're planning or trying to plan ahead, right? Yeah. So if a guy, maybe a couple or 2 couples, whatever, how many, what's the time altogether that you would say? So you take 7-course meal.
It really depends a lot on how fast people are eating.
Sure.
But to put like a number on it, so we show up an hour beforehand, give that an hour. I like to think like a 10 top. That can take maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. Yeah. So you're looking at maybe 3 hours of us being there.
All together.
A 2 top can be 2 hours. You know what I mean? We have thrown the idea around of doing like Monday to Thursday weekday dinners. Yeah. That would be 3 courses.
Okay.
That would be in and out in an hour and a half.
Gotcha.
Not everybody has the time or wants to spend all the money. Sure. Or everybody wants people to be in their house for that long, but sometimes people don't want to cook. They don't want to worry about having to feed the kids tonight or something like that. So we have thrown that idea around a little bit. But yeah, you're looking maybe 3 hours. Most of the time, though, we hang out afterwards. Yeah. Everybody wants to talk. Yeah. We hang out. We have drinks with the people sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, we've been to some places for like 4 or 5 hours. Because like we're like, we stopped cooking 2.5 hours ago. We're still here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
That's honestly like one of the coolest, best things about it. Is really once seeing your reaction to the food. Yeah. Like now I can tell if you like it or not. Yeah. So we can really see that, and then like the relationships we get to build.
Yeah, of course.
One of the podcasts we did, the guy talked about like people's barriers go down very quickly because we only have 3 hours or whatever, and like we're serving you, and we're down here, and there's no escaping any of us.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
we all have to be cool with each other very, very quickly.
Yeah. Correct.
And we kind of joke around like, and if they're not comfortable with us before we serve them, when they start eating. It all goes away.
It all goes away. Yeah.
That's when it all drops, man. Everybody forgets about anything when they start eating the food and they start to get into it. We've seen some of the toughest looking people just like, holy, what was that? You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's always really, really, really cool.
That's awesome. One part I like what you guys mentioned is almost like the educational value. Yeah. You're talking, you give a little bit of historical value on what you're actually serving, what they're eating, where it's from. So can you talk a little bit about that? Is that while you're serving it, or they're asking, or is it kind of afterwards, or you just kind of?
So that's kind of we try to like. So we're trying to like we're serving hot food, so we're trying to drop the food down and say like, hey, this is Mrs. Burns' egg. We're the only people who buy eggs from her. We make it by topping the egg, separating it, blah, 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 making a reduction by this. But we're trying to do it in a manner where your food's still hot.
I got you. That's perfect.
So we do, though, but we will. I kind of tell people, like, you don't have to wait for me to finish talking.
Yeah.
When the food is in front of you, you can start eating it.
Correct.
But it's just, it's kind of just along that whole time of like, oh, there's this in there because this is good for the liver, or like this is good. This microgreen is the most nutrient part of the plant's life cycle, blah, blah, blah. So that's kind of what we're more getting into now, is the health benefits. We do look at food as medicine. We're not really big into pharmaceuticals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I do believe that there is a plant for any ailment out there.
Sure.
But again, we're just scratching the surface with all that stuff. But it is a part of what we're doing, and it is a reason why we like to do it. We
also do, encourage anybody, if you have any extra questions about what we're serving you, please ask us. Don't hesitate. Like he just said, because we are serving hot food and you have the menu printed right in front of you, and we try to give more of a little detailed description on the menus than you would get at your basic restaurant. Yeah.
Sure.
Just to cover this, if this were the thing. So we always say, if you have any questions, please ask. Otherwise, please enjoy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
I think it's important though, because we collect coins and things like that, and there's a huge difference, right? When you go to a restaurant or something and they're serving you, as you guys mentioned, something off the truck, right? Let's just say something as simple as a potato, right? And then you guys are talking about you got it from this specific farm, and you're giving that historical value, I would say, versus when we're buying coins, there's let's just say silver bullion, for example. I can buy scrap silver, and there's nothing behind it, there's no story. And then I can get one that's printed from Korea, and this dude has the breakdown. Well, it was because when they went to war, they had to do X, Y, and Z, and this is their exchange, this is their true value. And you get that, and I want to buy that. That's what I'm buying into.
It's the love.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the, you can see the Korean guy pressing it.
Yes.
To us, like, I know the farmer digging the potatoes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can all feel that farmer with us when we're eating it.
Big time.
So again, we think that like just that in itself is healthier.
Yes.
Just those little things, your food could be more nutritious. It's gonna do what it needs to do for you better. You know what I mean? Like, your body's gonna have the adaptogenic effects to just break it down better. You know what I mean? Like, especially when you are eating seasonally. Yeah. That's the way we kind of evolved. Like, we have a big kind of philosophy. And it's one of those, like, if our ancestors didn't eat it, we shouldn't be eating it.
Correct.
Like, spray butter? Why are you eating spray butter? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you eating anything in an aerosol can? You know what I mean? Just, like, things like that. I'm just, like, that some people just don't think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, when we do these dinners, it sometimes just opens eyes. And it just kind of creates awareness. Yeah. Which is truthfully, honestly, what we want to do.
Yeah, that's it.
Just create awareness. We're showing a lot of people what's around them. We've had people who've been like, wow, I lived in Bucks County for 40 years and never knew about Castle Valley Milk.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Never knew about this farm over here. Like, and that's kind of one of the really cool things for us as well. Just showing people what's around them, Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, so what has been one of the most memorable, I guess, experiences or little events that you guys put together, you would say? It could be different for each of you.
Sure. I don't know. Like,
I mean, I don't know. Like we were talking about earlier, how like we're on the go, we travel, forgetting something. The one dinner we had, we forgot to bring pears for our intermezzo, which is like kind of in between.
Which is a poached pear dish. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like all about the pear.
We forgot the pear, so we actually took like this citrus medley, if you will, of a bunch of citrus, and served that as our intermezzo with this syrup and this lime zest and these microgreens and everything. So we took something off of our dessert and put it into our intermezzo because we forgot the intermezzo, and like nobody noticed.
That's awesome.
Somehow,
gave some excuse of like, oh well, the pears weren't ripe enough.
We just didn't like it. We just thought this would be better for you guys, So that was kind of like one of those things where we were like, yo, thank God, like we made that work. But like, let's not.
Honestly, now that I am thinking about it a little bit more, we did do one for a really close friend of ours who had a little bit of a hard time having a baby. They tried all different surgeries and whatnot. And so we actually got to be there when they told his parents about it. We're talking about like a guy who's like in his 40s. These aren't people our age. These are people who've been trying to have a baby for a long time. And to watch the mom like open the gift, like they didn't tell her like, hey mom, we're having a baby. Like they gave her a little gift. And it was just so funny because the way COVID is working, they're like, "Oh yeah, we ordered this back in December." I think it was probably in maybe February or March.
February, something like that.
It was a couple months later, but like, yeah, we ordered it for Christmas, but didn't come. And the mom was like, "Oh, I know, FedEx is just so behind." You know what I mean? So played right into it, and you saw her pull out this little onesie that said like, "You and me plus one makes three," or something like that. You know what I mean? And like, you saw her look at it and just like. Just like melted. And it made me tear up a little bit. That was a cool thing. That was a cool thing. To just be a part of and be able to be there, and like we're the ones making the dinner for it that night. Was just really, really cool.
Yeah.
Just sentimental things like that. We're all about the whole community building and like the connection. We love relationship building. We're not trying to be here just to serve you food. We want to be here to make something memorable. You know what I mean? I want you to remember it. Like, hey, remember on our anniversary? Like, we want to come back every year for your anniversary.
Absolutely.
Every year for your whatever family reunion or that anything that deals with that real good connection is just memorable for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it's huge for our listeners. We're constantly talking about the hustle, the grind, and things. What makes folks successful is that peach story that you just gave is kind of how you handle challenges. How are you going to react to something like that when you're under pressure and you got to think like now? You got to make something happen now, and that's part of it, right? And you guys talk about, I want to highlight it because you guys talk about days in advance. You guys are prepping for this, right? Yep. And even something as simple as that can
throw off all your preparation.
Everything.
Don't matter how prepared you are. If you forget something in the moment, you know what I mean? Same thing in the restaurants, though. It was always like you can have 10 backups, but if you knock one of those over in the middle of service, dude, you're all done. Everything's off the track now. You're all thrown off the rail. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how prepared you are. If you're not prepared in that moment, all the preparation beforehand, it means nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's cool for you to recognize that.
Yeah, for sure. What so talk about the difference. I know you guys say seasonal, but can you explain a little bit more of what you mean? Because earlier you said month-to-month menu. So explain for the folks that are thinking seasonal, 4 seasons versus literally month-to-month.
So, I think we change month to month. We sometimes might use maybe some of the same ingredients, but change the technique on it, or maybe put it in a salad or something like that. But when I say seasonal, I mean like we only eat asparagus in May.
That's it.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? We only eat raspberries, blueberries, June and July. Yeah. We only eat tomatoes like July, August, September. Like that kind of thing. Like we're only eating these things when they are naturally in season, making them themselves, abundant in that time of year. Yeah, there is no buying of tomato in January from California.
Correct.
That's what I mean by seasonal. We do a lot of onions, potatoes, cabbage in the winter. You know what I mean? Just like simple things like that. Like whatever is we do a lot of preservatives, pickles and stuff like that in the wintertime, root vegetables. We're trying to just, what were the natives eating? What were our ancestors eating? And how did they do it?
I think we only do like the monthly menu, just to keep our skills sharpened,
and also
to keep our brains moving, and to keep it interesting.
It stays relevant too.
Absolutely,
stay relevant. You know what I mean? Honestly, like you see in this fast-paced world we're living in. People with 24-hour news cycle. Well, you're gonna forget about me if I don't post a new menu at least once a month. You know what I'm saying?
So that's also why.
Too, absolutely.
Like there may be one or two things that kind of trickle from the last menu, or at least like one or two techniques.
The amuse bouche and the intermezzo will say the same sometimes.
Things like that. But it's usually, like he just said, just trying to stay relevant. Because we are so new at this, and we just started. We have to really, like you were also just saying, hustle.
I think also like some of my favorite restaurants that I personally worked in were ones where the menu was constantly changing. I don't even like going to restaurants now. When I was here, 3 months ago, when the menu's still the same, I don't like going there. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't really say much to me about the guy who's in the back or the owner. Especially if they're like a pretentious guy. Oh, I'm a James Beard, a winning chef. Like, bro, your menu hasn't changed in 6 months. You know what I mean? So that kind of we try to just do what feels good to us, and changing food all the time and doing what's kind of promoted by the farmers and what's coming to season is just what feels right.
I think you stay sharp that way too, because it's kind of what you said. If you had the same menu for 6 months and you did that rotation, whatever it was, 6 months on, 6 months off, whatever, you kind of just, if you're making the same thing day in, day out, how boring.
It's funny you say that.
It's boring, but I feel like that's where the love's lost.
Exactly.
That's where, because I've caught myself doing it, like even already, like at the end of some months, like, oh, I made this, literally 9 times this month. I can from this Thursday.
I can, like procrastinate an extra couple hours because I already made it 7 times this month. I know I can do it in 24 minutes.
So
I think it does breed laziness almost a little bit too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not what we're about.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So what does the future look like for you all? I know you're just getting started. I know there's a lot going on. Your heads are definitely on a swivel.
Sure.
But if you could look down a little bit down the road, nothing crazy, not the cliche question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah.
Just more of what things you want to add, what things you want to take away, that kind of deal.
Sure.
Where are you guys at with it?
I think some of our next good steps would be.
We already have a pretty big step happening.
Yeah. We actually are moving. Yeah, we started this in our house. So at the end of this month, we are actually moving into a kitchen.
Oh, nice.
We're renting out a fire hall somewhere. So that's kind of a big move for us, which is pretty cool.
Good.
Yeah, with that, we can now up our business.
We could take on more business. We can, we're trying to do things with your average at-home fridge. If I have a party of 10 today, a party of 13 in 2 days from now, I can't put all that in the fridge.
Yeah, true.
I can't store it all, or things like that. So then that'll help us kind of just ramp up a little bit. Getting some really solid farm connections where you know what I'm saying, you guys are the only people, we jump around a lot right now, just we're trying to find that,
of course,
and we are getting closer to that, I think. But having those real core, I want to have a core group, a mastermind group that we work with, who's yo, what do you guys want us to grow for you? What can we grow? I also want to be busy enough that we're now helping the farm be busy, because we're so busy. But I think we always talk about our big 10-year goal. We never want to own a restaurant. We never have one on a restaurant. I've seen too many fail. Our degrees are in restaurant management, so I know the numbers of however many don't make it. And I also have seen people who have restaurants work their life away. So we see something more of a farm property where we have a kitchen on the site. We're doing all the farming. We're raising the animals there. Obviously, we have a team of people who are doing it with us.
Of course.
And then we have, an event space on the property. Sure, maybe we can still do off-site things, but we have now a mother venue. We have a mother farm. That's our farm. It's our facility. And we're just doing things from there. You know what I mean? And wherever that goes, who knows? But that's what I think we're trying to work towards. More than just I want to own a restaurant and be famous.
I think answering the question also you were just asking the short term, just not the cliche thing. What I can say, I guess, with just in the future, hopefully maybe taking on slightly bigger events.
Okay.
But still because as we take on bigger events, you can sometimes get away from the intimacy. So doing these bigger events, but having it still be genuine. I'm not when you get into 10 people, it's sometimes even hard to just tell them what the food is when you put it down. You know what I mean? So to almost maybe build a reputation of people are booking us because they want to hear what we have to say. They want to hear about the food. They want to hear about the story. They want to hear about the connections, the relationships. It's not just about we're having a wedding and there's some good food here. I think that
would be cool. Hopefully, in the next 3 or 4 years to maybe have that, maybe to kind of get regulars, if you will.
Exactly.
We talk about maybe having people okay, I know you change the menu every single month, so for the 17th of every month, I want you.
Nice.
And to have maybe 4 or 5 people like that would
solid,
be awesome thing to get.
Every month we know starting no matter
There's
what.
5 events every month. No matter
what, that would be one of our really great go-tos.
That'd be cool.
That'd be really cool. Which I can see happening.
Absolutely.
And really, aside from that, I would say kind of really more or less learning more of the business side of things. We're both chefs by trade.
Hate numbers, hate technology.
Hate technology. So maybe,
I feel you on that.
To get more into that, to kind of just understand okay, if we do want to take this to where we really see it going, I have no idea how to get there. So how do we take the steps to learn how to get there? I can see that being a kind of a big focal point in the next few years too.
I think then even what you're saying, doing these bigger events, of maybe having another team with us too. Of him and I maybe handle small events, and then we have a team of all of our friends we've already made in the business who now hey guys, I need you to go do a party of 40 over here. If it's not as intimate or maybe something like that. Or just again, a couple employees. Would be cool. Some
employees in the future would be cool.
Just doing business, just constantly scaling up, constantly going forward, constantly doing more. Again, I don't know. We don't.
I feel we're super spiritual people, so we always say we know it's going to happen, and I'm not going to worry about how.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like,
absolutely.
to ask me how we're going to do it, I don't know, but all I can say is we're going to.
Yeah, exactly.
I think a lot of it too is where I know I just feel the energy is that you will be successful is your intention.
Sure.
Yeah,
So, right, and so if your intention's good and you mean well and you want to do good by people, somehow, some way, it'll work out.
Exactly.
Universe
got
bring
you,
that all
it's
back.
got
You know,
you. Exactly.
It'll, the other thing too, which is assisting in that, is the fact that you're using other local businesses and you're giving them business in a sense, right?
Yep.
And it's almost like that recycled reciprocation because
the law of reciprocity, man.
Yes.
We help others, they're gonna help
Absolutely.
us.
And
That's
that's huge.
And we also always say, like, there is no competition, it's just cooperation.
Yeah, I like it.
You know,
Like,
like,
we think if more did what we're doing, then more people can find out about us.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Like, I think we're a very kind of,
at least in
and
our area.
I don't know how to maybe say it in a way, like, I think we're a very big fish in like a small pond where like we need more fish and we need to get a bigger pond. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need more people to do this.
Private dinner
so people
stuff.
know that like this is a common thing.
Like, this service is out there.
I think people think about it and they say to their husband like, "Yo, man, how awesome would it be to have like a chef service around?"
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so, we have that good kind of mindset of the abundance mindset that like, dude, if more people can do this, we can all win.
Yeah.
We can all work together.
And that's
You know what I mean?
that's the point too. Our podcast is literally called Rotated Views. We're getting the opinion and the service and products of folks of all shapes and sizes, and we're putting everyone else, or we're trying to put everyone on in our ability, and then getting brand recognition for. It's a win-win for everyone's winning.
Exactly,
everyone's winning.
Dude.
I think of a well-known farm in our area is Shady Brook Farm. If you go to Shady Brook Farm, when they first started off, it was kind of like the mom and pop shop thing, a little bit more commercialized and stuff. But even them, they're serving Rosebank Winery wine out of that silo thing. They have local beers and IPAs from dudes who are their own obviously food, and you go there and you feel good. You feel good, like you feel like you're at home. You feel like you feel like your family. You know what I'm saying? It's that sense. It's like, yo, I know these dudes from Service Events are prepping the food and providing this service, and all these other businesses also benefit.
Exactly. So we talk a lot about. I actually we do a partnership with this place called Galvanized America Bed and Breakfast. Just to like, hey, any guests who come here, they obviously have to go out to eat somewhere. You could offer our service to them, and we'll do it at the inn. It's a fucking beautiful inn. We did one of them for like a couple of other couples and stuff. But I wrote a blog about why eating farm table is good. Yeah. And a part of that was about what you're just saying of like, him and I have physically seen how we help people. Sure. The money that that you're giving to Wegmans for that Valencia orange from California is not making it back to California.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
We see our money physically going into the hand of that person, and then also seeing like, oh, there's a brand new tractor now. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they just got a new walk-in or something. And maybe it's not us, but like you're seeing how people being there is actually helping that business. You know what I mean? So that's like,
it's huge.
Why would you not want to do that?
Why would you not want to be a part of that?
Exactly. It's amazing. And there's so many amazing things around us. You know, you don't have to go. You have to look a little bit. We happily had. I know you guys had Martha on here.
Yes.
She asked us, when we did it with her, what was it like sourcing when COVID was first starting, and we were kind of telling her like, listen, we were in Maine back then. We didn't start, but if I did have to take a swing at that question, I would say that there never was a food shortage, but in supermarkets, there was. So if you're going to go to the Acme and see that Acme has no eggs, you're going to be like, there's no eggs in the whole world. Right. Well, if you went down to Shady Brook, you would find out there was an abundance of eggs the whole time. You know right. You would find out there was never no onions. There was never no tomatoes. There was never no string peas. You know what I mean? Like, because the farmers always had it, but that's not where anybody looks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Nobody even thinks to look.
Exactly.
As crazy as it is.
Yeah, right?
Wild. Yeah, it's crazy.
So talk a little bit about... I guess outside of what your motivation is, kind of what inspires you to be who you are now. Not where you're taking service events, because I feel you guys are taking doing big things. Outside of what your motivation is, it could be friends, it could be each other, it could be family, whatever. What's your inspiration? What's your motivation?
I don't know, man. Honestly, some of the really big things in like the moment we're sitting in right now.
Yeah.
That really sparked me when you asked this question. Indigenous culture. Herbalism. Yeah. I like to always think a lot about like the medicine spirits and medicine teachers, people who still have that knowledge.
Yeah.
There's a reason why we got here today.
Yeah.
We've been joking a lot about recently. Like, I don't think we should have ever surpassed that time period.
Yeah. As humans,
we've done more damage in the last 50 years than we did in the last 5,000. You know what I mean? Like, why did we break a system that was working for us? You know what I mean? So I think looking back at that, it's just kind of more so like the more spiritual aspect. It gets us motivated to just be us every day. Yeah. To show up for ourselves every day. To be grateful that we just have a planet to live on. Like, to be reminded that birds sing to make us appreciate life. Yeah. Like little things like that, like actually talking to plants and hearing them talk back. Yeah. As crazy as it sounds, like but like hearing those little like we do a lot of foraging and stuff like that. So like asking permission from that plant and sitting there to wait for the response, which might just be like a bird call over there. Of course. Or like that ram top starts to blow in the wind. So that's the one you want to pick. Like, just those kind of little things is just what's really kind of cool to us, and we are all a part of that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you can just kind of slow down and pay attention to it, like we are all in this world together, which is why like with this COVID thing, how we have so much separation in politics and blah, blah, blah. Like it's all fake. Yeah. You know what I mean? So just being anything that is real roots, genuine is what motivates us.
I feel like even going with that, something that's also super inspiring with the whole COVID and everything, how everyone has to be separated. Like right now, it seems as though like everybody in our tribe and our best friends and our parents and us and our family, like, everybody's hustling. Yeah. Everybody's fucking doing better.
Everyone's winning.
That in itself is inspiring because, we're all in this situation. We can take it for what it is, or, we can actually go and get out there and, make it happen.
I had a friend of mine when this all first started selling honey. I guess he had a friend from, Cape May or something who's like, hey, I'm sitting on like gallons of honey. Like, yo, let's start selling that. Yeah. So Good as Gal Apiary, my man Kyle Glover, we buy from them. But he said when this all first started, if COVID did anything, it would separate the hustlers from the lazy people. Yo, you could have sat at home and collected hella money from the government. Yeah. Or you could have got up and done something about it. Yeah. Like we did. Yeah. Like tons of other people have done. Yeah. Sure. Plenty of people in this time have made money. Yeah. And a lot of it. You know what I mean? Not just Jeff Bezos and everybody else. You know what I mean? Like tons of small people have made moves in this time. Yeah. And we say, we wouldn't have ever done this if we never got kicked out of the restaurant. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like spent 10 years of my life just mindlessly working for somebody else. Missing every single holiday get together, missing just every holiday to begin with, every girlfriend's birthday, like for what? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? To make some other guy money, you know what I mean? Like to make money, like what is money honestly at the end of the day? You can't take it with you.
I think that's also one of our inspirations, like we don't ever chase money, man. Yeah. Man. We just chase like good vibes.
We're in this for the connections and relationships. Absolutely. I'm not in it to make money. Again, you might be like, oh, your prices are really high. No, they're not. They're not. When you see what we actually have to go through and what we do and like what we bring to the table when we do come to these events, like it's probably charging you a little bit more.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But we believe in it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think just in that in itself is fucking inspiring to yourself. I'm sure you guys feel the same way. Certain days like, let's kill this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
You almost inspire yourself by your own product.
When you look around at what's in front of us, and it started off as a couple cigars and a fire. Yeah. So now it's tables and microphones and chairs and laptops and all that kind of
banners and everything. It's dope.
That's inspiring. Yeah, we do the same thing. We look at our house, right now, our kitchen. Like we have a full service kitchen. We have every appliance you would need, everything you would ever need to run a place. And like we wake up, and there are times where I flip because we've done tons of opening shifts at restaurants. Yeah, there are times when I literally wake up in my own house and turn the lights on, and I'm like, it's a good day. Yeah, let's be grateful that you're at work and you can do this and you're here and like. You almost had that responsibility, you know what I mean? It gives you a purpose, you know what I'm saying? Like, which that in itself is inspiring, you know what I mean?
And aside from that, our family.
Yeah,
of course.
We have, so it's him, our little brother, and our parents who are still beyond happily married, which is a blessing in itself.
Absolutely.
It's probably the biggest.
And we listen to obviously a bunch of like spiritual podcast people and just things like that. Like Aubrey Marcus is a big guy right now that I like listening to. Just constant reminders to just be happy, be humble, be positive, anything like that. We really kind of vibe into. I listened to the one you did about the girl meditating and stuff and writing, and just the law of attraction stuff. And like when you see that work, It's like, I want to keep doing it. Like that's really what it kind of is all about for us.
Yeah. And I think when you live free in that sense, and not when you gave a perfect example of not doing it for the money, and then almost what comes out of that, the creativity that comes out of that, the love of your work, the product is going to be wildly better than when you're forced to clock in and miserable because you missed your girl's birthday party or miserable because you missed the family thing.
Dude.
Imagine those intentions while you're cooking.
You're
so angry.
We always talk about you can't make a good dish with a bad attitude. Or like whatever it was, like in the kitchens we always say like a bad mood would never make good food. You know what I mean? Like that's so true.
My wife, like the one day she was making meatballs and she was just, gathering the meat. I'm done. Like, she was like frustrated with her day at work. Dude, we had ground meat. All right, I guess that's what I'm eating. Ground exactly. And it was true. It was so like, she was so aggravated, and there was like no love behind it.
Slamming them on
that's what it was. It's so true. And I tell them,
dude, it's funny. Opening the one restaurant, it was a Mediterranean. We did wood fire pizza, and it was kind of like Eatery over here. But a little more upscale. And I read Mark Vetri, he's a big Philadelphia Italian chef. He wrote Mastering Pasta, Mastering Pizza, Mastering Bread. But in his Mastering Pizza book, the first foreword was literally him talking about when he went to Italy. He would make the same pizza every single day with the same guy. Same ingredients, same everything, but this guy's pizza came out better. He could not figure out why. It was strictly because this guy liked it more than he did.
He enjoyed doing it more.
Like that dude loved making that pizza more than he did for that time. So until he understood the love for that pizza, they were never as good.
Again, I feel like that goes into the whole indigenous culture of everything is a being. Everything has spirit. Those spirits know that you enjoy doing it more.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
the law of attraction's in there.
It is in
there.
It's
It's working its way. Whatever.
Like we were saying, we don't chase money. We don't do anything for money. Like, whenever we need it, whenever a bill has to be paid, it's there. It's there. Like times are hard. Sometimes are hard. Sometimes, but
of course,
you always get through it. You always get through.
Somehow, some way, always. Something.
I'm sure you see it a lot being a business owner, owning a barbershop. You know what I mean?
There was so much I wanted to say, like it's like in common with you guys, but it's like, man, I get it. It's tough.
Man.
There's highs, there's lows, there's days where you're like, I have nobody calling, and then a week later you're like, I'm so booked.
My phone's ringing. I think we were told, which was really cool, one of our first kind of events we were doing was a guy who was like a contractor, worked for himself. And we were talking kind of about that, of like, man, we were also so new, so I don't even know what we were talking about at the time, but like, we're so new. But I remember being like, man, like, I'm just like, I'm nervous, no one's hit me up a couple days, and he literally said like, bro, don't ever worry about that. It's like, dude, I've been in business for so many years. Happens to me all the time. I get slow, and he goes, I guess I'm taking a week off. And then, before you know it, 10 people call you. Or you get a lead for this or something like that. And, like, I've seen that now so many times. You know what I mean? Like, our whole month is open for next month. And literally the same day, we'll get 7 events.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Something like that. Like, which is awesome.
Like with the podcast.
Us booking guests.
There's times where it's like, the one time it was like February or something like that, and we were booked out for 3 months ahead.
Hell yeah.
He's like, dude, we got a guest literally every Monday. We got someone coming.
Hell yeah.
And then there's times like, boys, I guess it's just the 4 of us.
It's us talking. Sure.
Or we get a cancellation.
Sure.
People don't understand, like you're saying, right? Imagine, so folks that are listening for both the podcast and service events, understand that all that prep work that these guys are talking about, all that stuff they do, and the day of you cancel.
Right.
You have to understand that you're not just maybe emergency, something crazy happens. We totally understand that.
But life happens.
Exactly. But we have to get that back though. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to rebook me or something. So it happens to us with guests where they don't realize they're like, oh, sorry, I can't make it tonight. Just the craziest things. And sometimes you have to tell them just right off the rip. I'm not booking you again, but I want you to know we put in so much work. It's not something that you just call out or we're not winging this. There's a whole itinerary. There's a whole plan. All these guys have families.
Exactly.
We're all investing our time as much as everyone else. So it's interesting when you have these, especially small businesses. It's not like it's like you're saying. It's like you plan so ahead of time. This isn't something you just like, oh yeah, we're cancel that event.
Yeah,
fine,
yeah.
fine. I like that, bro. And I just want people to know that off the rip. Like, you need to understand that these guys aren't just,
I'm not sitting like waiting on you to just like, oh hey, we're ready now.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
exactly. And so that there's appreciation there for what you guys do, because I feel the pain on that one.
Oh yeah.
And we're very lucky to really not have anything like that have happened.
Exactly.
It happened like kind of recently, but it was something that was very, very minor. Which was no sweat at all.
Yeah.
We got to turn it into our Mother's Day gift for my mom. Anyway.
Nice.
So that worked out anyway.
It all worked out.
Like we've been very, very, very blessed to not have anything like that happen. And like we also like we kind of go on.
It'll happen someday.
But I think it does go on again with the whole law of attraction, bro. Yeah. We go off of just your honor. I don't ask for a deposit.
Exactly.
There is no you need to pay me ahead of time. Yeah. It's bro. If you say you're gonna do it, we say we're gonna do it. I do send you a confirmation email. With your name and whatever, all the like to cover us and stuff. But once you get that, man, like it's our word. And that's it. You know what I mean? Like, and
it's like, we hope you remember. Okay, on June 11th,
we're gonna be there. We're coming.
We're gonna be knocking.
Exactly.
There's no like, hey, just want to make sure we're still doing this. Like,
right.
I don't care how many months that you booked it ahead of time. Like on that day, we're gonna be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We used to actually do an event on Saturday in Wildwood. The guy booked it on December 12th. We did a dinner for them in December. While we were there, he's like, yo, I want to get you again to come down in May. Only person 5 months later was like, yo, bro, you still good with this? He's like,
wow.
Awesome.
That was sweet. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, we were just there on Saturday. We camped out and everything, got a little campsite.
That's awesome.
Like, so, that was the one time we did, like, we washed all of our plates there. Because we were 2.5 hours away. We were like, yo, man, can we just at least wash our plates?
We also knew him. We did an event already for him. We already kind of got there. We were real friendly. We were cool with his wife. The guests were also so awesome.
Such cool people.
So that was like, yo, bro, you mind if I do this? We never do. He's like, dude, do whatever you want. Do whatever you have to do.
So that was cool. But
that's usually how it is too. Everybody, like, we joke about it a lot of times. We've had people be like, trust me, man, my wife would insist I clean your dishes. And tons of people like, oh no, please clean them here. We're not going to, but I appreciate it. Which is awesome.
That's cool. All right, so how can folks follow you? Where can they reach you? Social media handles, anything you guys want?
Our Instagram is just Servisevents. Our Facebook is Service Twins Events. We are working on a website. It's just service-events.com. Our email is servicevents@yahoo.com. Again, any way is good to contact us. I'm going to ask for your email just because I don't like typing out all this on a direct message or on Messenger on Facebook. So if you are listening to this, email is the quickest way to kind of get to it. But before you dive into it, check out our Instagram, check out our Facebook. You'll see all the posts. You'll see people's reviews. You'll see
all
the
pictures.
You'll get an idea.
Our food. You'll see who we are.
You'll get an idea of what to expect. And as humble as I can say it, you won't be disappointed. It's something that we put a lot of love into, and
it's also really fun. You'll have a great time.
It's really enjoyable for everybody, not just us.
It is
for sure. Awesome. Any parting words?
Thank you guys for having us here. What I mean? First foremost,
thank you guys. Thanks to anybody in advance for booking us.
For sure.
We are very humble and grateful and blessed to do what we do.
We'd love to show you that.
For sure.
Aside from that, keep hustling.
Man.
That's it.
All right, so there you have it, folks. We like to wrap things up with quotes, and the first one is by W.C. Fields. I cook with wine. Sometimes I even add it to the food. And the second one by Orson Welles. My doctor told me I had to stop throwing intimate dinners for 4 unless there are 3 other people. Service Events. In this episode, we have special guests Steve and Nick. We cover topics that range from the food industry, major culinary influences, private dinners, menus, recipes, COVID-19, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes from Orson Welles and W.C. Fields. Awesome. Guys, thanks again for joining us. The Rotated Views podcast was produced for self-development purposes. Huge shout out to our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by the Blessed Lifestyle brand. That is BL3SSED.com. Also sponsored by The Motivation Files Unleashed. This motivational mixtape will be your fuel for success. Available on all platforms. Guys, don't forget to visit the website, JimmyleeVelez.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Rotated Views. If you have any inquiries or questions, email us at info@JimmyleeVelez.com. On behalf of myself and the rest of the crew, we wish you massive success. Stay blessed.